In this video, I'm talking about financial scams to avoid, the what's hot scam. Stay tuned. Hey traders, very warm welcome to you. So, financial scams to avoid, what I call the what's hot scam. So what is the what's hot scam? It is basically a company that all of a sudden decides to latch on to the latest thing in the news that is hot. Maybe there has been an outbreak of some kind of virus that's going to take over the world. So they all of a sudden become a company that is looking for a cure for that virus. They pretend they've got a breakthrough for it. They rename themselves so-and-so hunting company or whatever it may be. The point is they are purely changing the name and the direction of the company to attract headlines, to attract investors in, to attract the attention of people who are looking at this thing and think, hey, these guys are right in this sector. They've even changed their name to match this sector. They've even changed their business model. They are specialists in this field. I can see we've got a problem with this because it's all over the news at the moment. Let me invest in it. And the money piles into it, piles into the company, investment comes in. And guess what? You know, they're not even halfly remotely involved in it, or it's a pie in the sky thing. So, you know, what do we want to watch out for? I've seen this a few times actually in my trading career. I've seen kind of companies, I'm not going to name specific companies, but I've seen companies change their direction or change their name even to latch on to, you know, the latest big fad. And you know, sometimes it's very, very broad and we have a really big thing like the cryptocurrency. I wouldn't say it's a fad, but in terms of it being kind of pushed into the media, then we had a lot of people getting involved in that and companies changing their names to be on that crypto thing. Now, let me just add a caveat in here, guys. It doesn't necessarily mean just because they're changing their name or they're changing direction, doesn't necessarily mean they're a scam like all these things. There may well be just a company that's pivoting into a space they believe has got some long-term potential. But I've seen other companies as well that literally have latched onto, you know, a trend, a fear, whatever it may be in the news and the media with the general public, change their approach to appear like they're going to be experts in that and they're going to be, you know, helping people get over that or whatever it may be. And then ultimately, you know, it completely turns to nothing. They're not doing anything with it at all. They're not a biotech company. They're not a mining company. They're nothing like that. They're just literally pretending that they're going to make money in this field so that you will invest in them. We had that thing with that virus, what's called the Zika virus, and we had companies again pretending that they were going to, you know, find cures for that and this, that, and the other, and of course money floods into it, or they say we found a bit of a breakthrough for it, and it's all a bit of a scam. So, you know, when we're trading these smaller companies, how do we decide whether, hey, it's just a genuine pivot from a successful company into, you know, putting some capital into investing into what they believe is the next big thing, or is it just literally a scam to get your money? First thing is no real history. So watching out for regulations and results. How regulated are they? You know, what's their track record of a company? You know, do they have any profitability? Have they made any money? You know, just have a look and dig into the history of that company. What have they been doing before? In a way they make their revenue from, if it's kind of shady and it doesn't really say anything about where the revenue is coming from, and they've got a couple of directors that are in multiple companies that seem to just be, you know, not a lot, just seems to be listed, you know, red flag needs to go up there. Same with the track record of name changes. You know, watch out for this one. You do not want to see name changes. You know, name changes, fair enough, and it's a commercial decision to be made by any business owner, but frequently changing a name, it costs money. You've got to get, you know, new logos done. You've got to get branding done. You've got to change websites. You've got to change stationery. It's a big thing. You've got to risk that the message is not going to transfer over to the new customers or clients. It's a big consideration to take when people change their name. So when they're changing them regularly and it seems to be they're just jumping on the next big hype, massive red flag. You know, if you see that one, then that is the biggest red flag you'll ever see, and you need to just stay clear of it regardless of what you think they're going to do, because they're obviously just riding on the coattails of news. Another one is new startups spending more on PR. I've seen this a lot, guys. You know, people starting up and they're just firing loads of money at PR and not actually doing the job, not actually building what they say they're going to build, not actually creating what they say they're going to create, not actually doing the work. They're spending all their money on just PR and marketing. Yes, of course, a business has to allocate capital to exposure to some degree, but when they're allocating all their capital and they're constantly getting in front of people's faces and they're not actually doing what they say they're going to do behind the scenes, that's a big red flag as well. Keep your eye out for that one. Okay, last one, guys, is promises and unsubstantiated claims. You know, let's say someone goes into it, a new virus comes out like we had with that previous virus, and they say, hey, you know what, we have found, we've latched onto something that may be able to, you know, cure this thing or whatever it may be. I'm kind of making things up the top of my head here, but you get the point. They're in the headlines, they've got the news, they've got the name, they've got this, they've got that, but they're just promising stuff. They're saying, you know, we might have a breakthrough, we could have this, and they just have flaky language that doesn't really have any direction or any kind of genuine commitment. It's just, hey, you know what, we're looking into it, we've diverted resources towards it, all this kind of fluff that people come up with. Unsubstantiated claims as well. You know, they've got to be careful they don't go down the path here of being completely legal, because this is, you know, relatively legal in terms of, you know, a business changing direction is perfectly legal. Any business can do that. I guess it's a fine line between, you know, lying about what they're doing and saying they're going to do something. A company could say, hey, we're going to look into this space, or we're going to look into this area, which could create the hype they need. And then there's crossing over and saying, well, we are doing this, we're doing that, and lying about what they're doing and the results, which of course is going to create more results for them in the actual market. But being fraudulent is probably going to come back to bite them if the SEC is on the case. So that's the what's hot scam. Keep an eye out for that, guys. It's specifically with stocks, obviously. Being mindful of the next big thing, stocks changing their name, comes up on your radar. Just be cautious about diving in on that kind of stuff. Sure, if it's a genuine pivot from a successful business, fine. Maybe it's a good way of getting onto a changing trend or a new thing that's coming out. But if it's kind of any of these things, no real history, track record of name changes, you know, someone's spending more money in exposure, red flag, be warned, be very careful of that one. All right, guys, see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.